Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Dwyer VIP for premium picks on Roku, Dwyer Boxing. Before I begin, let me just say I have another Roku channel. It's a private channel, it's a music channel. The vanity code is Artist Development. There's a young rapper on the site right now that I think, if you're into hip hop, you need to listen to. His name is Tate Tucker. I know that some entertainment types watch my videos. If you're in the entertainment industry, I hope you give this young guy a look. And if you have a good video that you want me to listen to, just email it to me at dwyer70905@gmail.com. And if it works for me, I'll put it on the Roku channel. Now remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know, something must be in the water in the United Kingdom. That's the only way I can explain what I'm hearing from that country. It's preposterous, right? Does David Price really want to give Tony Thompson a rematch? Does Kell Brook really want to give Carson Jones a rematch? You know, I really have to wonder about who is giving these guys advice. Whoever it is seems to be throwing some of these young fighters over a cliff. So it is with whoever is advising Tony Bellew. I like Ike Chilemba in the rematch. I only give Tony Bellew a puncher's chance. The bet I'm recommending is Chilemba to win the fight, hedged against Bellew by KO, right? Just understand, rematches are funny things. Fighters who are adaptive reactive, in other words, the guys who mirror you and change their game plan based on what you're doing over time and make adjustments, right? Counterpunchers, for example, almost always do better in the rematch than the first fight because they literally learn what to do. So a counterpuncher will often give away the beginning of a fight. Right? They're just looking at you trying to figure it out. Think about Juan Manuel Marquez, your prototypical adaptive reactive fighter, right? Changes as the fight goes along. Think about the early rounds of his first fight against a lead puncher, Juan Diaz, the baby bull, right? If you recall, Marquez got roughed up in the early rounds of that first fight. Got roughed up, right? Couldn't handle the aggression. Couldn't crack the code. Then, of course, by about the fourth round, Marquez solved the puzzle. He dominates the rest of the first fight, figures out that he can land uppercuts on the baby bull, starts throwing uppercuts with both hands, beats Baby Bull by KO, right? Then, of course, you get to the rematch. And from the opening bell of the rematch, even though Baby Bull was a bit better prepared, Marquez dictated because Marquez knew exactly what Baby Bull was going to do and understood the speed of the fight. Now here, Tony Bellew in the first fight started strongly. He wins the first few rounds of the fight. He's in control, presumably. But understand who Ike Chilemba is. He's adaptive reactive. He's a safe cracker. He's in there trying to figure out a combination. Once he figured out that combination, it was over for Tony Bellew. I know on the telecast they made a lot about, Buddy McGirt yelling at Ike Chilemba. Let me just say this. I'm a little bit of a Buddy McGirt skeptic, right? I think sometimes cornermen get a bit too emotional during fights, right? And I do know Buddy McGirt has his skeptics in the sport, including former client and current welterweight champion Paulie Malignaggi, who has never forgiven McGirt for throwing in the towel in the Ricky Hatton fight, and who quite frankly felt that his career stagnated with Buddy McGirt, right? My point to you is simply this. Ike Chilemba was already dominating that fight. He'd already solved the puzzle by the time Buddy McGirt started yelling at him in the corner, right? And let me also point out that there are certain gaps between these two that Tony Bellew can't make up. Ike Chilemba is just faster than Tony Bellew, right? He has the faster hand speed. He has the faster foot speed. He has the better flexibility. Let me just point out, you aren't going to learn that in one training camp, right? Tony Bellew, if he thinks the first fight was close or that he was winning the first fight, he's kidding himself. He needs an adult in his corner who can talk to him about the facts of life, right? Because the bottom line is, Bellew is just wider than Ike Chilemba. Chilemba is much more precise and is much quicker. So the only issue in this fight, in my opinion, was whether Chilemba would stay upright long enough, just like Marquez did against Baby Bull, to figure out the angles before getting knocked out, right? Once he figured out the angles, and once he figured out Bellew's pattern, I believe he now owns Tony Bellew. I'm expecting Chilemba to dominate this fight. Understand that Chilemba has the higher volume, throws combinations, right? Knows how to pump a jab, is mentally strong, having beaten several unbeaten fighters. Let's also remember that he got a draw with Tommy Gunn, Thomas Oosthuizen, right? He also has dealt with guys who have power, beating Edison Miranda. The only real question with Chilemba is his chin, because he has been dropped in fights. He was dropped multiple times in the Maxim Vlasov fight, right? All of that is true. But if these guys stay upright and no one gets knocked down in this fight, in my opinion, this fight is Chilemba's to lose. I don't understand why Tony Bellew, after getting really a gift draw the first time around the block, would actually want to do this again. I think he loses this one unless he gets the knockout. The bet I'm recommending is Bellew by KO, hedged against Chilemba to win the fight. What I don't see, and I don't care where they fight, could be in the UK, what I don't see is Tony Bellew winning this fight on the scorecards. I know it sounds ridiculous since the first fight was a draw, but just understand that from the 5th round on in that first fight, I thought Ike Chilemba had solved the puzzle and was dominating that first fight, right? And so I would expect the fighter who makes the adjustments to actually be the better fighter in the rematch. I like Ike Chilemba in this one. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for stopping by.